Brandon Oliveras from Co-Creation Coaching, and I am here today to answer another reader's question. So these reader's questions videos are my opportunity every week to answer your questions about the law of attraction. If you have any questions about the law of attraction that you would like answered on one of these, you can go to cocreationcoaching.org/ask. And once again, we are here on Facebook Live. And so if you have any follow-up questions to what I'm going to read, feel free to ask. I will be monitoring the comments as we go through. So just feel free to interrupt me at any time, and I will see it eventually. So today's question that we have is about basically what to do when current reality isn't showing you what exactly you'd like to be seeing. Okay, so if you give me just a second, I will read that. Okay. So our reader asks, my biggest issue with LOA lately has been how to deal with others' opinions around you, or reality repeatedly showing you something you do not want. How to maintain that positivity, trust, and acceptance when faced with the opposite. For me, it relates mostly to how to let go of the desire and really trust that it will come to you in the right timing. So that's an awesome question, because I think that this is something a lot of people struggle with, in my experience, that, you have a big desire trying to manifest, and, it gets frustrating because you keep seeing either things in reality that are telling you, okay, you don't have your desire yet, you don't have it yet, or other people telling you, what are you going to do if it doesn't come, or, this is impossible for you, or just in general, this is a hard manifestation, right? That's very common. So what do you do when that happens? Okay. And actually, it hits on a really good point, because the law of attraction, when it comes right down to it, is all about that gap between where you are and where you want to be. So anytime, no matter what the manifestation is, if you are trying to manifest something that you do not have yet, then you are focusing on something that doesn't yet exist. And so reality isn't going to show you what you want. So as manifestors, we have to get really good at not caring about what reality is showing us. We have to get really good at, focusing on what we want to focus on anyway. And that's really difficult because we're used to giving ultimate, truth or ultimate authority to reality, right? So that's kind of difficult to just say, oh, it doesn't really matter, and it's that's just what reality is showing right now. But we really have to get used to seeing current reality is actually our vibrational past, so to speak, because today is the result of what we manifested, say, yesterday or 2 days ago, or, however long ago. It just depends on, the strength of your focus and the emotions behind it. But today, what happens today is vibrationally out of sync with where we are right now, unless you're focusing on it. Okay, so what most people do is that they let current reality create for them, where they see what reality has to offer, they focus on it, they react to it emotionally, and so they keep on creating more or less the same thing. As creators, we have to change that order around, and we have to say, okay, this is what current reality is showing me right now, but despite that, I am going to focus on something else. By the way, welcome to, I see someone's watching here on Zoom, so welcome. Let me know if you have any questions. Feel free to chat or ask in the Q&A. But basically, we have to really get good at saying, okay, here's current reality, but this is not what I want, and so this is not what I'm going to focus on. So anytime, you're focusing in the present, which is pretty much always, intentionally or not, because the law of attraction doesn't stop just because you're not doing visualization or whatever. So anytime you're focusing, you are creating basically your future, either later today or tomorrow or a few days from now or whatever, but you're creating your future. So to get to the question, how do you do that? How do you allow that gap and deal with that gap and not get discouraged by it? It's more or less just practice. It's kind of hard to really give a direct answer to it because it's just practice where you have to know that you are the creator. Reality can't do that for you. I mean, it can, but it's ultimately in your hands. And as long as you're getting discouraged by what reality is showing you, then you're not going to change anything. You're just not going to change anything. So that gap is always going to be present anytime you're manifesting. Now, if it's really, really disconcerting and it's really getting to you, then your desire might be too big right now. Sometimes it's better to start with smaller desires. Sometimes it's not. But, this is why I talk about current level, next level, ultimate level goals, because a current level goal, that gap is really, really small and barely noticeable. Whereas, a next level goal, the gap is pretty significant. It's still traversable. You can still get over that. But, it's difficult and you have to overcome that resistance. An ultimate level goal, that gap is pretty difficult. It's pretty far out there. And you really have to take some time or really work through some beliefs to get over that gap, to bridge that gap. So if the goal is too big, if that gap is too big, then it's going to be harder, especially when you're beginning with this stuff. I recommend a little bit of smaller manifestations because that's going to be the best way to really see things change. But, if it's not that big of a gap, then you just have to really be self-aware and knowing where you're focusing moment by moment by moment throughout the day and say, okay, one question I like to have people ask themselves is, do I want this thought to create in my reality? Do I want what I'm focusing on now to create more of itself? If the answer is yes, then you have nothing to worry about. If the answer is no, then you have to change your focus. Do I want this thought to create more like itself in my reality? And, if not, which I think usually it is if you're asking this question, then you want to change that focus. Now, how do you change a focus? That's really what it comes down to with any kind of technique that I've gone over, or, it's basically the manifestation process itself. We just did, by the time, well, right now, with doing this live, we're doing a webinar tomorrow about big manifestations and how to manifest them. If you're watching this and you haven't yet registered for that webinar, then I'd recommend going to do that. It's co-creationcoaching.org/big manifestations. If you're watching the recording of this, which is next Tuesday, October, I think, 17th, it's a little too late for that because the webinar was on the 14th. But, any of my classes or my coaching or anything like that is where I discuss like how to really change your focus. But just to give a little bit here, basically what you want to do, and what I've been telling my clients to do lately, is to ask yourself, can I just focus on the simple possibility of what I want being true or what I want being possible? I talk a lot about the parallel realities theory of the universe. And if there are parallel realities, then anything is possible. Anything is out there. Also, welcome to, I see a phone listener as well, so welcome to you. If you have any questions, let me know. Ask in the Q&A, or I guess you won't be able to. So let me know if you have any questions. You can email me though. But if anything, if there are parallel realities, then there is a reality out there where you have your manifestation. No matter how big it is, no matter how unlikely or improbable it is, there is a reality out there where you have your manifestation. So focus on just the feeling of that possibility of that being out there, of that being possible. And do that enough, and you'll practice that vibration and you'll get there. I don't care if you know for a fact that this is true. I don't care if, you're absolutely positive that this is true. That's obviously not the case, or you'd have it. All I care about is that you can focus on the possibility of this being true. If you can focus on that possibility, that's all that I need you to do. And that will start shifting the energy. If you can just fathom that possibility, the universe will do the rest. And if you keep doing that more than you focus on what is here right now, then the universe will do the rest, and you will start getting that manifestation. That is virtually guaranteed. So in essence, just, when you find yourself focusing on something that is in your current reality that you don't like, ask yourself, what would I rather have? What would I rather be true? And then ask yourself, is that possible? And the answer is always yes. But feel that possibility. Feel that essence of this can happen. No, it's not here right now, but it can happen. Okay, that's all you need. Is there at least a 1% chance, or 0.1%, or 0.0000001% chance that this could happen? And if you can feel just that even slight possibility, then you can get to that energetic state, to that vibration where this is true. And the more you do that, and the more you focus on that, the more it will become true for you, and the more signs you will see in your manifestation that says, this is actually true for you. So it's all about what you're focusing on. And it's all about where you choose to put your focus. It's just really practice, and that's really what it comes down to. So I hope that helps. I think that's really all that can be said on it. I mean, I know it's kind of simplistic, but that's really what it comes down to. So I do hope that helps. And again, if you have any questions, anyone listening here have any questions that you'd like me to answer in one of these, you can go to co-creationcoaching.org/ask and ask your question there. And the recording will be available next week, along with the transcript, and it'll be at co-creationcoaching.org/RQ13. Not yet, though, because this is just live right now. But that's where it'll be once it's up. So thanks, everyone who did listen. I really do appreciate it. And I will see you guys next week for another week of questions. As always, anything is possible.